Hey guys, and welcome to my YouTube channel. The name is Gorata.Selaledi. Today we're whispering because the little man is going through his eight-week growth spurt, and sleep is precious for both of us. When he's sleeping, I'm happy because he struggled to actually go to sleep before me getting here. So I'm just gonna whisper through this episode. This will count as a sound check. So hi there, and welcome yet again to my YouTube channel. The name is Gorata.Selaledi. Ever so excited to be here on this beautiful Monday morning. How are you? How are you doing? How is your weekend? What are you looking forward to as we go into this new week? Personally, I'm looking forward to completing this plan that I'm starting today. I'm looking forward to the 8th of January 2026 because that's the day that I'll be finishing the Bible plan completely. So I will be starting a Bible in 60 days plan today. And because this week I am praying and pressing in terms of praying for family, part of me wants to be very deliberate in terms of praying the word of God over them. And with that, I'm challenging myself to read and complete the Bible from cover to cover. Yes, I've said it so many times, but I believe that I'm going to finish it this time. There's a stronger challenge that was put before me in terms of going higher and pushing ourselves to move into a place of intimacy with God. That's my check-in for today. How are you? Please leave it in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. So in today's video, we are continuing our series on Think and Grow Rich. And today we're going to be reviewing chapters 9 to 11. And I will be following the same format in terms of what I had done in the previous episode, where I share we were both learning from each of the chapters, a summary in terms of what that chapter speaks to. And I will put, like I did, the reflection questions over here for each of the clips or each of the chapters that I'll be taking you through. So if you are new here, welcome. This girl over here loves to read, and she's currently reading Think and Grow Rich. And the hope is that we will get into the habit of reading together here in my little community. So if you're interested in joining me in my little virtual book club, please do click on the link on the description box, which will lead you to a Google form, which will collect your information, which will only be used for book club information related purposes only. And from there on, I will be able to actually share in the coming year newsletters, information that I'm sharing through this video that I can email to you to be able to read for yourself in the comfort of your home. So if you are interested, please do click on the Google Forms link. And if maybe you've been following the series and you hadn't really decided on joining the virtual book club, this is your sign to click on the link and sign up for the Read, Reflect, and Rise virtual book club. So before moving into the chapter reviews, I'd want to challenge you to think about something that you want. It might be publishing a book, it might be setting up a business, it might be I hope he doesn't wake up. Yeah, but think about it while I wait for him to complete his nails. So what do you want in 2026? Is it publishing that book? Is it setting up the business? Is it putting out the service? I'd want for you to think about that today as I go through the chapters. Think about it. And I want for you to put a bit of imagination like we've learned in the previous chapters. If it's a book, think about when what the book is about, who you're trying to target, when would you want to publish the book, where would you want to publish the book. Think of a venue. What are you wearing? What perfume are you wearing? What hairstyle do you have on? Think about the full details. So if you can, pause this video and do a little dreaming exercise before we jump into today's learnings. Because the one thing that I've realized from reading this book is it's challenging you to actually move from a place of just dreaming to actually act on the dream or the goal that you have for yourself. So pause the video here. And then come back on here to hear the lessons on chapter 9 to 11. I'll see you in a minute. Pause the video. So we are going to be reviewing chapters 9 to 11. And I am, like I said, going to share the reflective questions and call to action here. I'm just fixing something. Yes. So I am also going to share the reflective questions and call to action over here so that we are able to work on those together in our journals. So if you are new here, I hope that you'll be able to find a journal that you can use for these sessions. Every time you come onto this video or these videos for the Read, Reflect and Rise book club, you know that there is going to be an element of guided reflection, right? Of guided reflection. So we're going to go through chapter 9 and I'll, like I said, put the questions over here. But chapter 9 is about persistence, and it's persistence, the sustained power of faith, right? Persistence is the steady hand of faith. Hill calls it the sustained effort necessary to induce faith, reminding us that success belongs not to the most gifted, but to the most consistent. Every great dream will test your endurance. Those who keep moving despite rejection or delay prove their readiness for greatness. Persistence is more than willpower. It's heart power. It's a spiritual decision to keep going when nothing yet confirms that you should. Hale notes that temporary defeat often signals that your dream is near, not gone. Spiritually, persistence is a form of worship, a daily affirmation that God is faithful, and so are you. When your purpose is divine, your delay is never denial, it's development. Failure cannot cope with persistence. And an insight from chapter 9 that I want to share is to say then, every test of endurance refines your faith. The more you persist, the more you prove to yourself that grace and grit can coexist. So in thinking about persistence, I will say that the few people that I've followed in terms of their journeys on social media, I've seen that persistence pays. One of the people locally that I admire is Khofana Medise, who I think when she started doing her lives on Instagram, I remember following her journey, doing her lives on Instagram and moving on to partnering and collaborating with different brands, and now running and managing her own social media. I don't know if I should call it that, but a social media company where she offers the same services that she had offered on her platform to different corporates, and also runs a very successful podcast called Conversations with Khofane. Please do check it out. For the case of persistence, I think about her because you'd look at her journey, like look at her lives that she had done on Instagram. Not a lot of people paid attention, and I realized that even for any like beginning, like even for me on TikTok, I realized that you start off, you're not gonna blow up at the beginning. So persistence then says you're not getting the results you you expected or you think you're going to get if you compare yourself to people who have already arrived, which is not a good thing. But as you're going through your journey of beginning, are you able to sustain that effort day in and day out? Because it compounds, right? So in a year, I would have created so many more videos on my TikTok, so many videos on my YouTube. And in terms of the effort that I put in for each and every one of those videos, there's a compounding effect in terms of what I'm building and the impact that I'm making in the different lives of people who watch my content. So what is it for you that maybe you are doing and pausing, doing and pausing, doing and pausing, and losing out on the compound effect of you having had been persistent? What is that thing? Please drop it in the comment section. Please do share it. I'm curious to know what it is for you that you need to keep pushing, that you need to be persistent on, right? And I think the key thing that can keep you persistent, going back to the exercise that I shared at the beginning, having an idea and a picture of that thing that you want on a day-to-day basis. We spoke about imagination, fuels you being able to be persistent daily, right? So if you don't have that image, if you don't have that emotion tied to that image, it just falls off and becomes a dream that you've had that you're not actually tied to, right? So moving on to chapter 10. Chapter 10 says, the title of chapter 10 is The Mastermind, the Power of Aligned Energy. So I'm going to share and read the learnings from chapter 10. And even as I read them, think about that imagined goal that I said that you need to review and reflect on at the beginning of this video, right? The principle of the mastermind reveals that no one person succeeds alone. The mastermind is the meeting of two or more minds in harmony toward a shared goal, producing a third invisible force, spiritual energy that is greater than any one person's capacity. Hill saw this energy as the secret to every enduring success. When hearts and minds unite in faith and mutual purpose, divine intelligence flows freely. This is not about networking, it's about alignment. The right people don't just join your vision, they expand it. Faith-based living mirrors this principle. Scripture says, where two or three are gathered in my name, there I am in the midst of them. Harmony, therefore, invites God's presence, and his presence multiplies results. And a quote from chapter 10 that I want to share says, no two minds ever come together without thereby creating a third invisible, intangible force. So in this case, I think the key takeaway from chapter 10 for us moving into the rest of the year, moving into 2026, is to get to a place where you guard your circle. I'm just going to pause for a minute. Yeah, so something to think about going into 2026 is the need to guard your inner circle and getting to a place where you're intentionally surrounding yourself with believers, with builders and encouragers, those who fan your faith and not your fear. So who are those people? Even as I was reading through the learning from chapter 10 or the summary from chapter 10, maybe you're thinking about those people. I thought about two that I know I'm definitely going to be in alignment with for 2026 continually, because they feed into my business idea. They feed into the growth that I'm trying to build financially. So definitely there's alignment there. So who are those people for you? So moving on to chapter 11, we're almost done. I'm excited because he hasn't woken up. I hope he won't. If you're new here, I'm recording in my nursery and my son is just a couple of feet away from mommy, sleeping in his bed. So chapter 11, I'm going to whisper through, has a very interesting title, but it's not what you think, so stay with me. The title of chapter 11 says The Mystery of Sex Transmutation, Transforming Creative Energy into Purpose. This is one of Hill's most misunderstood yet profound teachings. He reveals that sexual energy, the creative life force within every human, is one of the strongest motivators of achievement. When this energy is redirected from mere physical expression to creative or spiritual pursuits, it becomes a source of power, passion, and genius. Hill doesn't condemn sexuality, he elevates it. He invites us to transmute or transform this energy into love, purpose, art, or vision. The emotion of love, when united with desire, gives rise to spiritual vitality and magnetic influence. In a faith context, this is about wholeness. It's learning to channel passion, not suppress it, into creation, service, and leadership. It's the sacred merging of body, soul, and spirit towards divine calling. When driven by this energy, men become gifted with a superpower for action. Your energy is therefore sacred. When you channel it towards divine purpose instead of distraction, your life becomes a vessel of power, not of depletion. So I'm just going to share closing thoughts from all 3 chapters and we can close this video. I'm actually going to eat after this. And then I'll figure out when to edit this video so that it's out by 8:30. But otherwise, like I said, please do. I think I'll share this as the closing thought. So, in closing, chapters 9 to 10 teach us how to sustain the vision that we've imagined. Sustain it, right? Persistence builds your spiritual endurance. The mastermind multiplies your faith through unity, and sex transmutation refines your creative energy into divine productivity. Together, they show that success is not just about external gain, it's about inner mastery. To grow rich in thought, in spirit, and purpose, you must learn to persist through trials, walk with aligned souls, and channel every ounce of your creative energy into what glorifies God and fulfills your calling. So please do take time to go back to the reflection questions. I will take screenshots and put them here for you to actually sit down, ask yourself the questions and apply them to yourself, right? It doesn't matter for us to read, or it doesn't make sense for us to read and not apply what we are reading. So the purpose of this virtual book club is to create a space of accountability for us to read and apply what we're reading and reflect on what we're reading, specifically in terms of how it relates to our lives. So thank you so much for watching this video to the very end. Please do click on the registration link if you are interested in joining my virtual book club, and watch this space for the final video where we are going to be reflecting on the last few chapters. I think that's chapter 12 to chapter 15 in the coming week, and wrapping up Think and Grow Rich. And like I said, the book is not for you to read and put away. You're gonna have to put it by your nightstand and go back to the chapters that speak to what it is you might need to refine. If it's your imagination, go back to it. If it's decision making and being precise in you actually making decisions that are concerning your life and your calling, go back to that chapter. So it's a book that we've read, but it's going to be a companion that we're carrying with us, even possibly into 2026. And like I said, the book works in this way to say the goal that you have or the dream that you have, think about it and put it in the foreground as you're reading the book, right? If it's writing a book, put that in the foreground and think about what transmuting the dream of writing and publishing a book into reality looks like against the principles that are shared in the book. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching this video to the very end. I am excited to actually come to the end of our first book, and a bit nervous as to what book we're going to be reading next. But I do know that it is going to be focused on emotion. So watch this space in terms of our book choice, which we're going to be reviewing probably most of December. But otherwise, may God's favor locate you and may His grace sustain you as you live out this new week. Be blessed and see you next Monday. Au revoir. Recording this video has felt like a contact sport where I have to be active in my diligence to be extra quiet. I literally had to tiptoe to go get this book from the nightstand. Guys.